Papa, thank you so much. I can't believe you got me this. She excitedly hugging him tightly. He smiled and gently patted her back. You deserve it, Miko. He said softly, watching her eyes sparkle with happiness. You are the world's best brother. Oh, then why don't you say this in front of others? Every time you call me arrogant and sort of things, it is making her roll her eyes slightly. Don't flatter yourself, and thanks for your new apartment. Mika was Young's younger sister and worked at his office. She had been living in the rented apartment in the city. Being a hardworking woman, Tang decided to give her an apartment as an older brother's gesture of care. Before Tang could respond, a soft audible voice interrupted. Taiju Appa. A small child came running, hugging Tang's leg. He smiled warmly and ruffled his son's fluffy hair before looking up to see approaching. As Taiju and I arrived, my eyes landed on Miko, the young sister. Honestly, we didn't share a great relationship, ignoring her. Good after. Why are you here? It's my husband's office. Who are you to ask? I wanted to snap back, but I took a deep breath, reminding myself to be the good, soft and polite wife in front of my husband. Just come to see my husband. You forced a genuine looking smile, gently grabbing Taeyang's arm, starting to walk away with him. Or maybe you are here to beg for money again. I held myself for pretending to be good sister in front of my brother. My heart skipped a bit. Suddenly I felt like the luckiest and richest man alive. My wife was holding my arm, balancing a lunchbox in her hand, and while my little 4-year son clung to like a cola, it was like if she guarding me together, the three of us walked as one. I made your favorite lunch, Taeyang. I was bored today, so I thought of you. As we entered my office, she reached to send the food on the table, but I stopped her. One stop, she looked at me confused. I'm really sorry, but I have an urgent meeting in 2 minutes. Can I eat this after? Yeah, of course. Can you both wait here? I hesitated, unsure if she had other plans. She laughed softly. Why not, Young? We are here for you. Of course, we will wait. I nodded, gently placing Raiju on my chair. Alright, buddy. Appa will be back in an hour. You can play until then. Why here? There's a children's section in the office. I can't take Taiju there. I shook my head. No, that section is under renovation. Okay, Tay. She nodded and understand. By the way, thanks. Do you need anything else? She hesitated for a moment, after debating something in her mind. I knew I could give her anything she asked for, but she looked like she was nervous. I felt guilty, but I had no choice. Tay, I need some money. Can I have your card? Actually, my bank is showing some restriction on my account, and I want to buy something, but because of that, I can't. Before I could even finish my hesitant explanation, he handed me two of his main bank cards. It's okay, whatever you need, just buy it, don't mind. I wasn't surprised, he was always like this, generous and trusting, but the fact that I was lying to him made my heart feel heavy. Thanks, and best of luck for a meeting. I gave him a small smile. He returned with a Taiju and sadly waved Jiang. He really left. As soon as he was gone, I sighed and looked at the cards in my hand. I was promised an old orphanage to provide funds for the better health care and education for the children. Unfortunately, that orphanage conflicts with Young and his family. A year ago, he refused to support them, but the way he contacted me and showed me how much they truly needed help. I couldn't run away. Other companies provide some small donation, but the orphanage was old and it didn't offer any marketing profit or recognition for them. So no one was willing to help enough. I had already given them funds from my savings and selling some of my expensive belongings, but now I needed something's financial help too. And to get it, I had to lie to him. Taiju, Yama, yes, Taiju. Can I serve that? I'm feeling sleepy. He pointed over the couch and nodded. Are you okay, son? Charlie placed my hand on his forehead, checking on his signs of fever. I just wanted to sleep. Oh, he mumbled cutely, his eyes drooping. I smiled at its adorableness, nodding before lifting into his arm, laying him down the couch, tucking him with a soft blanket. Suddenly I remembered something, the letter. Flashback to last night. I was writing a heartfelt letter, pouring all my emotion onto the page. Taiju sat beside me, curiously watched. Is this letter for Appa? I nodded, blushing slightly. Yes, we wait for your Papa. He loves us so much. He works so hard for us, and even when he's stressed, he never shows it. He always returns to be okay just to keep us happy. Taiju is the kind of man your mom always dreamed of. Taiju grinned his smile, perfect copy of Taeyang. Just then we heard the main door click. It was about to open. Taiju, I think it's your Pa. Quick, hide a letter somewhere, I whispered urgently, handing it to him. Taeyang could enter. Taiju nodded and ran off quickly, making me giggle. A moment later, Taeyang walked in. You look beautiful today. He complimented as he moved his shoes. I smiled and walked towards him, gently removing the blazer. Taiju, I was just talking about you. Suddenly, he grabbed my waist, pulling me closer. About me? What were you saying? His deep voice sent shiver down my spine. My heart started racing when he looked at me so intensely. That's you are a very good person. I stuttered, my hand resting on his chest. He raised an eyebrow, looking a little surprised. Really? That's interesting. You never told me that before. I mean, even after 2 years of Taiju's birth, we used to fight a lot. He wasn't wrong. We did fight, especially because our family pressured us to have an heir before we were truly ready for it. Did you really think I was that bad? He chuckled, shaking his head. No, it's not just that you always said that I could never handle you, so after a while I started to believe it myself. What are you doing? He suddenly appeared, staring at with a big innocent eyes. I quickly pulled away, feeling frustrated. Flashback again. Back in the present, I recall how Taiju had hidden the letter in one of Taeyong's files. So Taiju hid that letter in his file. I murmured to myself just this morning. When I was searching for it, Taiju told me it was inside Taeyong's file, and now Taeyong had unknowingly taken it to his office. My heart pounded as I quickly retrieved the letter and tucked it into my purse. I wanted to give it to him on his birthday. Suddenly there was a knock on the door. I was sitting in Taeyong's chair, surprised by the sound. It wasn't Taeyong. Come in, the door opened and the man stepped inside. I recognized DRM, one of Taeyong's recent collaboration partners. Mrs. Was a surprise, DRM said with a grated smile. Yeah, I came to see Taeyong. By the way, aren't you supposed to be in the meeting with him? Oh, I wasn't part of that meeting. I just come to discuss our collaboration. I nodded in understanding why. Liarim, well, if you don't mind, would you like to grab a tea with me? The office cafe serves really good tea. I hesitated. I wanted to say no because Taiju was still sleeping here. I'm sorry, Mr. Lee, but my son is sleeping. He glanced at Taiju, then smiled. Liarim, I see. Yes, really good, but don't worry. We will back before you wake up. I hesitated again, thinking it over. The cafe wasn't far, it was the same floor, and Taiju wasn't the type of cry upon waking up, plus he's surrounded by Taeyong's security. Liarim, come on, Mrs. Kim is safe, we are surrounded by Dad's guard. Alright. I suddenly got up from the chair before leaving. I walked up to Taiju's place, a soft kiss on his cheeks. In the meeting hall, Taeyong was in the meeting hall sitting with his team as they discussed a renovation redesign of the office building. Large screen in the room displayed a live CCTV footage of different areas of the building so they could analyze and plan accordingly. Miko was also sitting in the meeting, listening to the conversation. Her focus wasn't entirely on the discussion. She casually glanced at the CCTV footage on the screen when something caught her attention. It was you. Miko's eyes slightly ran away as she saw you sitting inside Taeyong's office. At the word, she thought nothing of it. But then her eyes widened slightly once she saw you quickly take something from his file and slip it onto your purse. Her curiosity piqued. What she is doing? Taeyong, who had been lingering in the meeting, turned her head toward Miko, confused by a sudden whisper. What? He was looking at her. Miko pointed to the screen. Look, Taeyong followed her gaze and focused on the CCTV, showing his offices from front and he saw you acting suspiciously. You had taken something from his file and hidden it in your purse. Before he could think too much, something else happened on the screen that made him. Just yesterday, conflict arose regarding Taeyong and Lee Arim's collaboration. Taeyong believed that Lee Arim and his father were betraying him. He saw you and Lee Arim talking very casually and then walking out of the room together, leaving Taiju alone. Taeyong was frightened when he looked at another surveillance footage and saw you both entering a cafe on the same floor. Taeyong's expression remained cold and unreadable, leaving Miko clueless about what he was thinking. I think our meeting is over, he finally spoke, shaking his head with others. I hurriedly quickly walking to the elevator and pressing the button for the fourth floor, my office floor. When I stopped off the elevator, my eyes widened. Taiju was coming down the stairs, but suddenly he slipped. Taiju, I shouted, running towards the stairs. One po. I was returning to Taiju after 10 minutes in the cafe, but my eyes widened and I heard Taehyung shout. Turned to look at him running, and my gaze shifted to Taiju, who was falling on the stairs. I also ran. Taehyung had already reached him, sitting on the floor with Taiju in his lap. I rushed down quickly as well. Taiju was crying and Taehyung held him close. Taiju, my eyes widened, and when I saw blood trickling from his mouth, his tooth had broken. Taiju, my son, are you okay? Appa is here, okay? Please don't cry. Taiju, your mind hurts. My leg hurt very bad. Each word was broken by sob began to form, tears in my eyes too. Taehyung, don't worry son, you will be fine. I promise. He held Taiju in his arms and stood up. I tried to help, tears streaming down my face. As I clung to his arm, suddenly things stopped after 2 steps and looked at me. His eyes were dark, filled with rage. How can you leave him alone to go with that man? His cold voice sent a shiver through my gaze shifted between our son and him. He third. Before I could even say anything, he slapped me across the face. Gas filled the area, and my hand tilted to the other side. I was in shock. He raised his hand on me for the first time. You never loved my son. Why don't you just admit it? He yelled, making everyone flinch again. Taiju cried harder. I love him to understand that he is not just your son. I raised my voice's frustration. Your Mahapa, he cries, intensified. Taehyung glanced at him, ignoring me, and he really left with Taiju in his arm. I stood there with a shock, unable to comprehend what had just happened. Liarim, Mrs. Kim, are you okay? I nodded and ran toward the exit. I stepped outside. I saw Taehyung's car speeding away. I got into my car and began chasing him. At the hospital, you and Taehyung and Mika were sitting in the waiting room when the doctor came out. Mr. and Mrs. Kim, there is no serious danger. Luckily, he has one broken or few teeth, suffered cuts of legs due to friction from the stairs, and lightly hit his heart, causing a small cut. He is fine, but now please only the one person that can visit him. Before you could say anything, Taehyung stood up and entered the room first. Night, Taehyung swore, I know I made a terrible mistake. I lost control and I slapped her in front of everyone. Even now, I can't bring myself to apologize, not because of ego, but because of the anger I felt. She left him alone, Taiju in his room, because of her. She knows how to protect him of them both here. Wanpo, I know this is all my fault. He was right. Taiju is here because of me. Since then, Taehyung hasn't spoken to me. It's late at night and the silence feels unbearable. Appa, it's so bad. How could he slap my woman? His tiny hands suddenly touched my stained cheeks. I guess his hand trying to hold back tears. Taiju had woken up just minutes ago. I'm sorry, I think Appa slapped you because of me. I'm a bad boy. He began to sob and pulled him into a hug. Sure, don't say it, Taiju. Eat your dinner and rest, okay? Mrs. Kim had brought dinner for all of you. You and Taiju and together, but your thoughts were Taehyung, who outside the room alone. Taiju, I'm going outside for a bit, okay? When your Appa come back, tell him to eat this meal and then go to sleep, okay? Can you please bring my Spider-Man plush? I can't sleep without my bestie. His tear-streaked face made it impossible to refuse even though me driving back home. I nodded, deciding I should go. Taehyung needs to eat and I will grab the plushie quickly. Thank you, Amma. He kissed his head and left the room. My eyes fell on Taehyung. I walked past him. He couldn't sense my presence but didn't look at me. I sat and exited the hospital. Taehyung, where is she going at this hour? I asked myself as she disappeared from the sight, signing I entered Taiju's room. Appa, please eat your dinner before it got cold. Taehyung nodded silently. Amma went home to get my plushie Spider-Man. Taehyung, what? Taiju nodded. She went out this late night. Oh my god. Her driving at night is terrible, especially at the empty roads. My heart started racing. I couldn't stop the overwhelming anxiety. It's not Taiju. I'm even more protective of her. My chest tightened as my anxiety spiraled out of control. Taiju, you should have asked me instead. Sorry. Ruffling his head. 45 minutes later, I had been calling her repeatedly, but she wasn't answering. Maybe she is driving, I thought, trying to stay calm, but my worry kept escalating. Then my phone rang. It was her. Remember, I answered it quickly, but my eyes widened when I heard a stranger voice. Hello, are you her husband? Yeah. Why? Who is this? And what's going on? Your wife is in an accident. She has been admitted to Glory Hospital. Please come quickly. My breath hissed and my chest tightened. The very thing I feared the most happened. My throat felt dry and my hands trembled. I'm already in the same hospital. How is she? Women, I'm sorry I can't say this. The doctor have taken her to the and accident was a minor, so please understand the urgency. Please come to the XXS floor and my leg for a week. I couldn't stand the fistigram in front of Taiju, but I felt impossible to hold together. I hurriedly called a nurse to look after Taiju and ran into the. When I arrived, I saw a woman and a man waiting outside. My heart sank further when I recognized the man. It was Liam. Oh, are you her husband? I know that Liam smart mine. Is she okay? I gulped. Parable to words. The thought of losing her tore me apart. We don't know yet anything. How is this happened? I struggled to hold my back. My wife and I came across a two-car collision. The other driver was admitted, but when I saw Mrs. Kim, I recognized her and brought her there since I know you were already at the hospital with Taiju. I felt a wave of gratitude amidst my panic. Thank you, I said them and sincerely just at the doctor's tab. Who is her family member? I'm her husband, doctor. How is she? Your wife is out of danger. She lost her and several injuries but stable in her condition. You can see her, but please be gentle. She is very weak. I breathed a sigh of relief and thanked the doctor before stepping into the room. Inside her room, I saw her lying down, covered in bandages, stitches. My heart broke into pieces. Darling, my voice cracked, tears streaming down, face beside her, holding her guilt and consumed me. This is all my fault. I should have stopped you. I should have asked where you are going. I am such a terrible husband. I feel you, and please don't forgive me because I can't even forgive myself. It's so hard, so much to like this. My heart rested on the edge of her bed. My tears soaked her sheets. My hand landed on her cheek. I slapped her earlier that day. The pain caused today was unbearable. The next morning, tempo, I woke up in the faint movement of her hand near my head. I spent the night in the same position, my head resting on the bed. I had checked on Taiju throughout the night, but I couldn't have a sight for a long while. How are you feeling? I asked hesitantly but shaken. When I opened my eyes, first thing I saw was Taehyung sitting in an uncomfortable position beside me. His head was resting on the bed. His eyes were swollen and red. She had cried again the last time. Yeah, I'm feeling better. I reassured before so much instantly. My head was bandaged. Didn't want to worry further. Liar. His voice broke and extended head weakly. Without hesitation, he stood and leaned into me, hugged me. I'm sorry, babe. I'm such a terrible person. I even slapped you in front of everyone. I don't deserve your forgiveness, but please don't leave me. I can't live without you. You're my oxygen, my reason to breathe. Whispered into my neck, tears soaking my eyes. I'm leaving you. I can't leave you, Taiju. I said softly. How is Taiju? And he's feeling better. I broke the hug slowly. His expression softened. He's okay. Don't worry. Love through the pain lingered the both moment. A step forward, leaning together. Last night he was crying mass after seeing you like this. I told accidentally flow and Spider-Man flesh. Yeah, my poor baby. First days in the hospital because of me. He cut me by the cheek repeatedly, making me lose the train of thought. Please don't blame yourself. I was mad at that time. I'm sorry, baby, but this wasn't your fault. You just stepped out of minutes and I wasn't wrong. I should have blamed you. I was slapped to ashamed of myself. I opened my mouth to say something, but his verdict shocked me. I deserve a slap too. No, something worse. Promise me you will slap me in front of everyone. My employees, my business partner, guards, everyone. His face was serious. I took everything not to laugh. I can't hold anymore and burst into laughter. How can he say such thing with such a serious expression? Please stop, you are being ridiculous. I'm not joking, babe, I'm serious. Promise me you won't eat anything. Even like a child making me sigh in disbelief before he could continue. I pulled him closer.